Let's solve homework exercise number 16 from section 9.2. We need to use the English and metric equivalents for capacity or volume and dimensional analysis to convert liters, 11 liters to quarts. Now what we can do is we can click on the table here to get the conversion from liters to quarts. So clicking there, we see that 1 quart is approximately equivalent to 0.95 liters. 1 quart is 0.95 liters. So that's what we'll use for our dimensional analysis. Okay, 1 quart is 0.95 liters. So we have 11 liters. The units we want to get is quarts, so that goes in the numerator. Liters goes in the denominator to cancel, and we just had that on from the chart. 1 quart is 0.95 liters. Okay, so the 0.95 is in the denominator, so we're going to divide both sides, or we're going to divide 11 by 0.95 to get our final answer. Okay, when the number that's not 1 is in the denominator, then we're going to divide. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take our original amount, the given amount, 11, and divide by 0.95, and that will give us the number of quarts. Okay, rounded to 2 decimal places, 11.578. 11.578. There's an 8 in the 3rd decimal, so we would round up to 11.58. All right. 11.58 quarts. Let's look at problem number 17. 2,000 milliliters to quarts. Okay, now, if we look to our English to table, if we click here on our table, we have quarts to liters. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and take 2,000 milliliters, convert it to liters, metric to metric, and then we'll use our, what we just learned, 1 quart is equal to 0.95 liters from the previous, or from this table here, okay? So we have 1 quart is 0.95 liters, okay? So what we got now is 2,000, we got 2,000 milliliters, and remember for a metric, KH, kilo, hecta, deca, the unit, deci, centi, and milli. So milliliters is right here. We got 1, 2, 3 jumps to get the unit by itself, which is liters. 3 moved the decimal 3 places to the left. So 1, 2, 3. So 2,000 milliliters is equivalent to 2 liters. Okay, moved it over 3 places, metric conversion, metric to metric. And now what? We want to go ahead and get quarts, and we want to cancel liters, and there's 0.95 liters for every 1 quart. So we're going to take 2 and divide by 0.95 because it's in the denominator. Okay, so 2 divided by 0.95 will give us the number of quarts. And we get 2.105, and again the 5 is in the 3rd decimal, so we would round the 2nd decimal up to a 1, and our answer is 2.11. Problem number 18. Find the population density to the nearest 10th for each of the following states. Which state has a greater population density? how many more people per square mile inhabit the state with the greater density than the state with the lesser density. So what you're going to do is population is people, the number of people divided by the amount of area, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take one at a time. For state A, we're going to take the number, the population, the people is that number, 12,733,303 divided by the area, and that will give us the amount of the people per square mile, which is what we want, rounded to the nearest tenth. Okay, so you just take the amount, the population divided by the amount of area, and then round it to the nearest tenth to get the population density. Okay, so we've got 12,733,303 divided by 53,218 square miles, and we get 239.26 rounded to the nearest tenth. Okay, so we have 239 point, the 6 follows a 2, so we would round up to a 0.3. And again, it is what? People, the units are per square mile. MI means miles. Okay, so it's per square mile. Okay, same idea for density for state B, just different numbers. So now we're going to take 11 million people, 11,441,762 divided by its area, 41,274. This time we get 277.21, so we're going to round, keep the 0.2 because it follows, a 1 follows, so we'll round down. And again, it's people, and MI means square mile, so people per square mile. Okay, which state has a greater population density? Okay, it's state A, I'm sorry, state B has the greater population density, more people, right? It's a higher number. So state B, and by how many people, rounded to the nearest tenth. So we'll just take our answers, 277 from the previous part, 0.2, minus 239.3, and the difference is 37.9. All right, so we subtracted the two population densities, the answers we got previously, and that told us, and again, state B had more by the subtraction, 37.9. Let's look at problem number 19. Use the fact that 1 square mile is 640 acres to find the area in national parks below to the nearest square mile. So 1,502,181 acres. Okay, now let me go ahead and do that. Let me write that one more time. Okay, one more time. I'm sorry, my board was not orientated, so I had to orientate it. Okay, so we've got 1,502,181 acres. We want to convert to square miles, okay? So square miles and acres, and what are we given here? 1 square mile is 640 acres. For 1 square mile is 640 acres. Again, acres would go in the denominator, so we cancel. And then we're going to have 640 is in the denominator, which tells us we're going to divide. So 1,502,181 divided by 640. So setting it up tells us we're going to divide, and that will give us the number of square miles. And actually, we're going to round to the nearest integer. Okay? So to the nearest integer. So 1,502,181 divided by 640. Okay, and again, it'd be 2,347.1. Okay, the 0.1. So we would go ahead and round down the nearest integer. It would just be 2347.1 would just be 2347 because 1 4 or less, we keep the number the same. If we're okay, so the answer is approximately 2,347 square miles. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and stop this session right here on problem number 19. We'll continue the next session with exercise number 20. Thank you. If you have any questions, send me an email at tswers@hodges.edu or call me at 239-938-7805. Thank you.